bonjour, bon dia, ekaro, and pleasant greetings all across the African continent from my heart to yours. And a very warm welcome to Going Current right here on your biggest and brightest breakfast show, talking about Good Morning Africa. With me in studio is relationship expert and psychologist Marie-Jeanne. And today we are going to be looking at a very sensitive issue in relationship that we have titled cheating. I'm sure every one of you out there, you are aware of cheating in relationships. So today, Marie-Jeanne and I, we are going to be addressing that issue. Good morning, Marie-Jeanne.
Good morning.
Good to have you here in studio.
Thank you for having me.
Today we'll be looking at a very heart-touching and sensitive issue in relationship. We have titled it cheating. Firstly, why do people cheat in relationships?
Good question. People cheat because needs are not being met. You know, in the relationship they might have the need for more compliments, more time spent together, more acknowledgement, more romance. And if those needs are not being met, people tend to look outside the marriage or outside the relationship. But of course you also do get people who are habitual cheaters, people who will always cheat at every opportunity because it's an ego boost. So you get the two classes, but I would say that in most relationships it is because needs are not being fulfilled. And so it's important to look out for the cues that your partner give you. You will find that people tell you, you never spend time with me, or you never give me compliments, or I feel unsupported. Watch out for those cues, because if you do, you can prevent it from happening.
And how about when people say, I'm not yet married, I'm still single, I'm not committed to anyone, so it's fine for me to go along and cheat?
Well, it depends on how you define commitment. If you are in a relationship that is exclusively between you and him or you and her, and you've been dating for a number of weeks or months, then I would start saying that it would be cheating when you look outside of that relationship. If there's an understanding is that we are dating each other exclusively, you're dating exclusively. If you have, on the other hand, an open relationship and it's okay to see other people, well, then you should make it known and discuss it. But most people would feel uncomfortable with that. And here's a tip. If somebody lies and hides it, then you know they're feeling guilty and it's cheating. So look out for that.
Yes, I think everyone should look out for that as well, just like you said, Marie-Jeanne. Now, let's take a look at what you shouldn't do when you find out that your partner or your spouse is cheating on you. Most of the time, people see what they should do. They go along and probably get angry. They take it out in ways that are not so pleasant. So now let's take a look at what you shouldn't do when you find out that your partner is cheating on you.
Yeah, you mentioned anger and unpleasant behavior. That is one of the things that you shouldn't do. Don't throw your toys out of the cot. Don't make a big noise. Don't sulk and scream and yell and accuse. Don't tell your mother-in-law. Don't tell your family and friends. And, you know, keep it calm. I would say, don't go and have a revenge affair yourself. Don't act the victim. Don't act like I've been wronged, poor me. Because I can tell you, if your partner then comes back to you, you don't know if he or she came back because they feel sorry for you or whether they really want the relationship. So yeah, those are things I think you should not do.
And not everyone will be able to control their temper when found in such a situation, honestly.
Very true, very true. I would suggest keep it calm. In fact, I would actually say stay calm about the situation before you confront your partner. Keep it quiet for a day or two. Think about it. What would be the best way to approach him or her? And then when you do, come with evidence. If you have it, come with evidence, come with backup. Because I can tell you one thing, most people deny it from the word go. Unless you have evidence, most people would say, it's not me, it's you. You're being paranoid. You're being overpossessive. So stay calm, stick to your guns, and say, but I found these numbers, or I heard from so-and-so. Stick to your guns. And if you feel like working it out, if you're convinced that you still want to stay with that person, make it clear. Say, I love you, and I want to work it out. What do you feel? And throw it back. And if that person responds with, yes, I want to work it out too, well, then you're already far. Then you can consider professional help or go and see somebody who's not biased, who's not going to take the other one side or your side. Then you go to somebody preferably professional, not a family member, unless it is somebody who is wise and objective. Then it's okay. But you find somebody who's not going to choose sides, who's just going to listen, and also listen to those unmet needs that we talked about. You know, important to listen. Why did it start? Where did it come from? How did it happen? And try and resolve it from there. But you know, cheating is a heartbreaking thing to go through. We find ourselves shocked to the core. It's not just your trust in the person that's broken, it's your trust in yourself. Most people have a huge blow to their self-esteem. They might find that they think, am I not sexy enough? Am I not cute enough or intelligent enough or nice enough? What's wrong with me? Most people would ask that. And so it really can shatter your self-esteem. It's a heartbreaking thing to go through. It can even break your trust so much that in other relationships or coming relationships, you would still be distrusting. So it has a real ripple effect. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Very hurting. And so, yeah, one has to be sensitive to that. I don't think people think of that when they cheat. I think they only think of the thrill of the moment. They forget how much it can hurt and how destructive it can be. So, yeah, important to remember that.
Now let's take a look at habitual cheaters, people who cheat consistently.
You know, I think some people get addicted to the high of falling in love. They love the high. They find it such a wonderful thing to get compliments. It boosts their ego. And at that point, of course, they are really not thinking about the partner at home. They're really just thinking of themselves. So it's a rather selfish thing to do. And if you're in a relationship and you know your partner is a habitual cheater, you know, I would ask myself, why do you put yourself in harm's way? Why do you put yourself in the way of somebody who is rejecting you consistently over and over again? So at that point I start wondering about the hope for the relationship. Unless somebody shows real remorse, if somebody implies that it's okay or that it's all your fault, makes me wonder a bit. And I think at some point you need to ask yourself, do you not deserve more? To be treated well. All of us deserve to be treated well.
And how do we prevent ourselves from being in a situation where we find that we are now cheating? We don't need to be in such situations. How do we find ourselves detached from such situations? Because I believe that little by little the ocean gets full of water. It doesn't just start, a man wouldn't just go cheating, a woman wouldn't just go cheating. It starts from a glance, it starts from a look, it starts from being attracted to someone probably at work, seeing that face, you know, seeing that makeup that your wife doesn't have on, you know, seeing that lingerie that your wife doesn't put on.
Very good point, very good point. What you are touching on is letting yourself go. And I think many people do that. They become lulled into a false sense of security. This person is always here. So they start taking their partners for granted and they stop making effort. Stop dressing up, stop putting on the makeup, gain some weight, stop looking pretty or handsome. Very true. So one has to guard against that. You don't want to just be seen as the old partner or the wife or the mom or the dad. You want to be seen as a sexual human being, as an attractive human being, as an interesting human being. And so yes, absolutely, keep that spark alive. If you want to prevent cheating, it's not just staying attractive, but it's also keeping the fire going. That connection, keep it going. The connection between a man and a woman or partners should be so strong that you don't want to look outside. That this is a person that you tell your secrets to. This is a person that you share your hopes and dreams with, that you do things with, that you go places with. if you feel that this is your partner, come thick or thin, come what may, you are less likely to look outside. If that bubble of love around you is strong and is filled with romance and joy and laughter and sharing and, yes, good sex, it's going to be strong enough to withstand the onslaught of the sexy little thing walking by or the handsome guy who gives you compliments. If that's strong, it's nothing that's going to shake it, because it's too precious, and you will know that this is too precious to break. It's when you start thinking that it's not so great at home that you are more likely to cheat. So in my opinion, keep the bonds of your relationship strong, and it will protect your relationship from cheating.
Thanks so much, Marie-Jeanne, for coming into studio and for spending your time and all this special information across to the people of Africa.
That's a real pleasure.
Do you find this topic very interesting, intriguing, something that you would love to send comments, questions, contributions about? Then please send your emails to mj.practice@gmail.com to get across to Marie-Jeanne. Otherwise, keep sending your emails to gma@planetimage.co.za. But right now, it's time for us to wrap up Going Current. And for me and Marie-Jeanne, it's goodbye, and do have a good one.